Greetings, universe. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are properly hydrated. Okay, what are we doing today? Well. Today, we are going to continue learning about Godot from a perspective of a Unity developer, moving to Godot, or at least checking out if it's any good. Hello, Tink. How are you? Thank you for joining. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Very excited for today. Okay, let's get started then. Right. So, currently I will be following a tutorial from the official Godot documentation. As far as I understand, the person who created the tutorial is called Nathan Lovato. He's the one who prepared the tutorial, which is called Your First 3D Game, and it's part of the Godot documentation. So that's what we're going to do today. Basically, we have some assets available already for us to use. These are coming directly from the tutorial. And as we can see here, we have 2 folders available to us. One with like a font. I guess we'll use it in the game. And another is for all sorts of art stuff. As you can see here, we have some material, we have some music, more materials, and a GLB file, 2 GLB files. I suppose these are 3D models. That's my suspicion. Let's check those up. So this is going to be the player model, and this is probably the enemy? Yes, this is like the enemy model. All of those are going to be available for us to use in the project. So that's pretty cool, right? So first thing that we will need to do is to set up the playable area where the game will happen. As I understand, we will have to create a scene, a new scene for this. I am quoting from the tutorial. We're going to create our main scene with the play node as its root. Okay. All of these are supposed to be nodes, right? And we want a plain one. Let's look up for nodes. I wonder which one we should take. I will continue reading from the tutorial, and then we will see which one we need to grab. Scene dock. Click at Add Child Node button represents as the plus, which is this one. We have already done it. Okay. And double click on node. Okay, so double click node. Alright. And I guess we will simply name it main. This is going to be our main scene, as far as I understand. Okay. Save the scene as DSCN by pressing Ctrl S. Will we need a certain directory for it? I suppose not. We will just put it here for now. So far we have a scene where we're going to have our game. Okay. Pretty straightforward for now. So that's good. Now, what are we doing next? We'll start by adding a floor that will prevent the character from falling. To create a static collider, like the floor, the walls, or the ceiling, we can use the static body 3D nodes. Okay, so we'll go here and look for the static check 3D node. They require collision shape 3D child nodes to define the collision area. Okay, so with the so we need to select this one first and then create this one underneath. Okay. So we first create like our body, and then we need to create a collider for it. So let's do that. Let's add a collider. Collision shape 3D. A node that provides a shape 3D to a collision parent. Okay. We will rename the static body to ground. So, as I understand, whenever it's a red icon, it means that we are tackling 3D objects, while when we have 2D objects, there will be in blue. Okay, that makes sense to me. Now, first we have something that is like a body, but it's like empty. And even though we have a body, we need some kind of a collision feature for it. If it's not going to have a collision feature on it, then our characters can either fall through the ground or just, straight up ignore it and act like ghosts. So this is why we need collision as features for our static bodies. Yeah, I think that makes sense so far. Unity would have game objects, and then these game objects will have all sorts of different features. But for here, everything is a node, so it's a node within a node within a node. Okay, so we have a strange warning sign here. A shape must be provided for collision shape 3D to function. Please create a shape resource for it. Yeah, if we want our collision to actually work, like if we actually want a body, we need to define the borders of the body, so it will be possible to, if you throw yourself into it, you want to bounce off of it, right? So that would be a way to do it. We need to define the shape of the collision. When we can expect those collisions to occur. Okay. Well. Let's continue then. So, to create a shape for the collision shape 3D node, we will need to go to the inspector, which is this area over here on the right. And define the shape. Okay, so we will use a box shape 3D for the collider. There we go. Now we have an area of collision. So that's, since this is going to be our ground, it makes sense that it should definitely be a box. Yeah, I understand that. Okay, I guess this is like a way to decide for the size of it. Is there another way to see the size? Okay, we have all sorts of parameters here. None of them are about the size. We have scale, but I assume the scale part is like not the most first proportions. Rather, I assume these are like multipliers of the actual size. That's what I think. So we better not touch the scale just yet. I better find a way to change the size. Because as you can see, the scale still is the same, no matter how much I move this. So it does seem like it's all about being a multiplier of the size. Okay. How do we find a way to change the size of the box though? Whoops, I removed it. I'm gonna bring it back. There we go. Now, where do we change the size? A box's wireframe appears in the viewport with 3 orange dots. I see more than 3 orange dots. I wonder why. You can click and drag these interactively. We can also precisely set the size in the inspector. Click the box shape 3D. Oh, there we go. This is where we can set up the size of our ground. Right. So, we're gonna set it up to be a nice squared ground. There we go. Very nice looking ground we have here. Isn't that nice? However, our ground right now, if we will start the game, it will be invisible. I will not start the game just yet. But we need to keep that in mind. For now, the ground is invisible. And we definitely want the ground to be visible. Yeah. So to do it, we will first select the ground and we will add a mesh to it. Mesh instance 3D. Now for the mesh, we can choose a box mesh to match the collider. Box mesh. There we go. And we will set it to the same size. How should we set it to the same size? Let's take a look. If we have anything related to size here. Ah, there we go. So it was 60 by 2 by 60. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now we have our ground. Okay, so far makes sense. And we can also rotate it. But check it out. We're moving the mesh. We're not moving the collider. I guess we will need to move the ground as a whole. Yes. Now it's moving with the collider as well. Okay. But we don't need it to be moving. This is good as it is right now. Ooh! Wow, 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 wow. Hello, holy acorn. Acorn. Holy acorn, that's funny. Is that an Ice Age reference? Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Currently I am preparing my very first game in Godot 3D, and I'm following a dedicated tutorial for it. So this is what I'm up for right now. Oh, holy acorn! Holy acorn! You are my 100th follower. Yay! Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I love explaining stuff. Yeah, so let's get back to the game we're making. Yes, so far we have a ground 3D object. We added a collider to it, and we added some shape to it as well. So, yeah. Glimmer, hello. Welcome. Please don't say mean word about Godot. This is our ground for the game. Don't you think it's cool we have it time? I think it's pretty awesome. Glimmer, how are you doing? Okay, so this is our ground, right? It looks like we can snap the ground to the grid. So I will hold control and move it. Ooh, okay, I see. Now it's snapping to the grid. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, awesome. Also, we have all sorts of controllers we can use to navigate our scene. So that's great, that's awesome. Glimmer, I am good, thank you for asking. I think today is also very exciting. Especially when we're going to make things move and lively. Okay. I don't know. Do I want to move it? Do I want to move it? We can move that. Okay. It used to be over here. And now we want to move it just a little bit above. Right below. Because our characters are going to spawn at the 0 point. So we will want to move it a little bit downwards, right? Like so. Okay. How can we see where it is in the space? No, I don't want to inspect the mesh. I want to inspect the whole ground as a whole. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. This way. Okay, where can we check now the position of the ground? This is our static 3D body. Now I want to see where is it. Okay, physics. No, that's not related to us. Oh, there it is. That's the transform. That's good. No, we want it to be at -1. There we go. Should be good now. Guys, please ask questions if you have any. Okay, let's add a light source to the scene so it will look a little bit nicer. Now we will try to get directional light. Glimmer asks, do you know Japanese? Always wonder. I know Python. That's something I can definitely say that I know. I know Python. Human languages? Maybe a little bit. Yay, Tank. I'm happy this is clear so far. Yes! Team Python! Okay, we're going to add a light source now. But it's going to be under main. It's going to be a child note. Directional light. 3D. Ooh, what a nice light source we have. Shiny, shiny. Shiny, shiny. We need to move and rotate the light source. Okay. And also let's... Ooh, look. Shiny! Shiny, shiny, shiny. We are making the ground shiny. Making the ground shiny. Not so shiny. Shiny! Not shiny. Shiny! Not shiny. La 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 la. Okay. Now we have our light source moving towards the ground. Glimmer says, so please can you speak to us in your native 010, you mean binary language? Well, that's a lot trickier than it seems. Basically, binary language means either we have an electric pulse going through or we don't. If we have electricity going through, it's 1. If we don't have it all, it's 0. And the more electricity and non-electricity and electricity and non-electricity we add, the more complicated what we want to say is. So eventually we can do all sorts of how should I describe it? Like you have additions and subtractions and multipliers, right? You can make some kind of basic commands like an OR gate and an AND gate to make some calculations. And then you add another complexity to it. And you have all sorts of logical gates, which are consisting of ANDs and ORs, which are like the basic operators we can use. And then we can add even more complexity to it. And then we're going to like assembly territory. And only then we have actual programming languages. So it will take me a lot of electricity and non-electricity, electricity and non-electricity to say very, very basic things. So it can take a really long time. So maybe we should stick to this human language. Would that be okay? Okay, about our directional light source. Let's see, we have something here called shadow, and we want to enable it. Nice. Okay. Let's continue. Now I will create a new scene made out of this scene. I think that's what we should do next. Okay. This is our scene menu. And we need to create a new scene. Hello, new scene. Now we will create a character body 3D. That's very curious. I would expect to have nodes for bodies, which sure we have one that is static, like here, but I would expect another that would not be defined as static. Or then I would just expect a node called body 3D and then choose whether it's going to be static or not. But here it looks like we have an entirely new node type, which is called character body 3D. Well, I guess this is like a way for us to do less work. Glimmer. This is reminiscent of Morse code, but not quite. Very lovely signs you have there. Okay, let's check it out. What it means: character body 3D, a 3D physics body specialized for characters moved by script. Okay, so I suppose this is some type of abstraction that Godot gives us in order to save us time. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Let's call it player then. Character bodies are complementary to the area and rigid bodies used in the... Okay. I see. Coomer says, what we actually gonna do a character pool? We're going to create a player which will murder enemies. Yes. And we'll show you the player. We have a model for it here. This is the player. This is us. And these are our enemies. We're going to murder bad pixels. Very bad pixels. As this one over here. Yeah. This is our plan for today. Okay, back to the player. Okay, so I assume we need to add more nodes to the player node. Okay. We will add node 3D, which is a very regular node. Most basic 3D game object, parent of all 3D related nodes. Okay. So it does seem like all of the other types of nodes are inheriting their properties from this one. Let's call it pivot. And now we can add the 3D model to pivot. Ooh. Okay. This is nice. This is supposed to be part of... Wait, this is weird. So... how come this is what happened here? So this is pivot and we're trying to drag it towards here. Now the hierarchy makes more sense. Okay. Now we will call this one character. Glimmer says, I thought your game would be peaceful and kind. Yes, but this is... Okay, what I'm doing right now, I'm following a tutorial for Godot. This is the official game that is presented in the Godot official documentation. This is to learn how to use Godot. So, the GDD, the game design document here, is not mine. And all of the game design and the character design, nothing here is mine. It all belongs to Nathan Lovato, if I remember correct. We'll take a look at the player and we will add a collision node. We need a collision node. This one over here. So our player will not fall through the ground. That's why we need it. Hello, Augmented. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I am currently going through a tutorial for Godot from the Godot documentation on how to use it to make games. I am coming from Unity background and I'm now learning a new game engine. So that's what we're doing right now. So yes, we need a collision shape for the player. And now we will add some kind of shape for the collision. We will use a sphere. It's very small. We need to make it slightly larger, I think. Let's make it less self-wash. Okay. Now the sphere looks better. Do you see it? It's this one over here. Gloomer says, please will we have weapons with lasers? I don't think we will. I don't think we will. Oh, hello UV. Thank you for joining. Welcome. How are you? Yes, Blender in Godot. Indeed. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know and I will explain my process. So far, I am following a tutorial on how to use Godot. This is like one of my first time checking it out. I would say this is roughly aligned. Maybe we will make it slightly larger. Let's see. No, I like it better when as it was before. Okay, this is good. So this is slightly there we go. I guess we need to align it with a grid like so. Yeah, this is rather aligned, I think. Yeah, that's good. Now we need to save the scene. Because everything is scenes and everything is notes. We will save it as player. Okay, now we need to define how we're going to get input from the user, or from the player, that is. What do we have here? Interesting. What are we going to add? Okay, we will add move left action. We will add move right action. We will add move forward action. This is to allow us, as the players, to move in all sorts of directions. So this is the type of input we expect to get from the player. And last but not least, a jump. Glimmer says, well, we already have 100 followers on Twitch. Cool. Now you are an experienced streamer. Good luck. Glimmer, thank you. Thank you for your wishes. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you everyone for following me and making me get here. Yay! Okay, now we need to define what kind of input, what kind of button will trigger these actions. That's what it seems. This is so strange comparing to Unity, where you have to define all of these in advance in the project settings instead of, I don't know, instead of on the player node. I wonder what was the design decision behind making the inputs all in one place in the project settings. I can see how it can be beneficial, but it's very different. It's very different from Unity. Okay, now I guess we will add what kind of input is expected here. This is really weird that we need to configure it through the user interface instead of through code. That's strange. Well, I see that we can add all sorts of stuff like a joypad, mouse buttons, and keyboard ones. I think we will add keyboard ones for now. Okay. This is really weird that we need to do it manually for everyone and not with code. This is so strange. But I guess that's alright. Up and down. And jump would be space. Okay, seems like we can also add like Nintendo stuff. Can we? Okay, never mind. We will stick to the keyboard. Yeah, we will stick to the keyboard for now. Ah, Nintendo Capture. Ooh. Interesting. Oh, Xbox stuff and Sony PlayStation stuff. Curious. Okay. Glimmer says, how often do you spacewalk with your friend Starly? We float around our moon every day. We're going for floats around the area and trying to avoid the hot liquids and the hot explosions coming from the ground. But other than that, it's very chilly and nice, and we definitely like floating around. Thank you for asking, Ma. Okay, now we can finally get to the code. Yay! Okay, let's take the player node and prepare a script for it. How do we prepare a script for it? Oh, there we go. Setting the temp. Ooh, we have some basic movements for free, I see. But we will keep it as empty, so we will do it on our own. We will create the code on our own. Okay, let's do it. But first, I would want to add it here and save it. Also, I will want to save the main scene as well. Glimmer says, I heard that the norm is 10k cosmic steps every day so that the code remains sane. This sounds like an equivalent to the earthy 10k steps that you would want to take to keep your physical body in high maintenance, in good maintenance shape. That might be true, I don't know what you're saying. Honestly, I cannot go do the floats for too long because then maybe we will do some overflow with the count of steps. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, now we can finally code. So first, what we need to do is define the speed for our character. Target velocity is vector 3. It's vector 3 because we're in a 3D world. We're going to start with the 0. Yes. Export. If I remember correct, export is for making the variable available from the inspector. I think that's what it means. So the recommended speed for now is 14. And we also need to set an acceleration. Like, if we were on Earth, then our acceleration would be 9.8. So we need to set something similar for this environment we're creating here. Full acceleration. We're setting it to 75. Based on the example, that is. So, in the example, they say it's in meters per second squared. I don't know. That's a very fatal. That's a very fatal fall. Let's try not to fall. The target velocity is a 3D vector combining the speed and the direction. Here we define it as a property because we want to update and reuse its value across frames. Yeah. We always need to take into consideration the frames that we have in the game. Okay. So let's set the movement of the player. We're going to create a new function. Physics process delta. Glimmer says, honestly, I'm sorry that I can't support the conversation on coding and game development because I don't understand it. I know there's nothing wrong with it, but it's always a shame. It's always great to share feelings. Okay, but let me explain what I'm doing and then maybe you will know. If you would like to give it a try, then I would really love to explain what I'm doing, Because so far we're not doing something too complicated. This is going to be the speed for our player. And this is going to be how fast the speed will change if the player falls from here. As you can see, we have this area where our character will walk around. But if the character falls, then we need to decide how fast the character will fall. And that's basically what we have here so far. Do you have any questions about it, Glimmer? Or anyone else, really? I would really like to explain again if needed. Okay, if there are no questions so far, I think we will continue. But please feel free to ask if you are not sure about something. Okay, so my guess is that with this function, we will take care of our directions. Like, if we're getting any of our inputs that we set over here, like the move left, move right, etc., etc., if we're getting any of those, then we need to reflect that on the scene. So this is the function where we're going to do that. Again, this is going to be a 3D vector. And the reason for it is because we are in a 3D world with 3 axes. Now, depending on the input that we're getting, we need to change the direction. So, we'll do something like this. If input... Okay, this is... I wonder if GDScript has a switch case. Ooh, universe! Good luck, good luck! Are you learning Japanese? Good luck with the Japanese. Glimmer says, is it possible to make a 2D game with the 3D tools? Well, we have either 3D or 2D tools here, so that's a yes. Basically, your Z-axis will not be very active, and that's all. And then there you have it. You have a 2D game with 3D tools. I wonder if GDScript, if they have a switch case. Let's see. Because Python doesn't really. Python doesn't really have a switch case, but maybe GDScript does. Does Godot have a switch case? It's called match. Let's see. Okay, so match X, and then we have all sorts of cases for it. For example, the input dot wait. Okay, I see that we have match, but there is no way to go for a default. There is no way to go for a default. Okay, so we will do something like this. Greetings, universe. And then I hope this is going to be default. Print default. Hope this is how it works. I hope I'm getting it right. I think I am. At least based on the documentation, it looks like this is how it works. Okay. Okay, so we have all sorts of directions we can go to. So if the input is action pressed. Did you see that? We had all sorts of actions that we can take into consideration, like input dot is action wait, I don't see it anymore. Why does it not suggest anything anymore? But okay, we'll go here and show, because that's interesting. That's so interesting. Let's see. Is action. You see, there is just released, or just pressed, or just or past. So that's interesting that you have also the release part. So that's good. We can define different behaviors depending on the type of button press we got. And we're getting it quote unquote for free from Godot. So that's really cool. That's awesome. Okay. So if that is the case, we will want to change the direction to be as follows. You see, this is our direction. And honestly, I would also want to return it, I think. I think we will want to return it at some point. Hmm? Okay, and if we're doing move left, then we're doing the direction, but this time we're doing -1. Like so. I wonder why is it painted in red? Identifier X is not declared in the scope. Oh, I see. Well, I guess I wonder how to. Okay, so it says that X is not around here, so we're not going to be able to use X. Then we will need to check how Godot expresses this one. Let's see. Let's look for GDScript switch case for input is action pressed. Let's see. Glimmer says, you can be a coding teacher. It is good to understand. If I understand something from these words, I would probably say that you are a good teacher. Yes, I am a good teacher. So please ask anything. Please ask, and I would really, really love to explain. At first, I really wanted to avoid creating if this, then this, if this, then this. So I wanted to put it in a match, kind of. I wanted to avoid it. I wanted to avoid this and create a switch case. And the switch case is called match. Like if X is this, then do that. If X is this, then do another behavior. But I need to understand what kind of variable I need to put here to do that. So I'm going to look up match GDScript, and I will also add is action press to see how can we do that. In the forums, it seems like there is no really good way to do it. Glimmer says, not the student who questions I'm the one who listens. If I'm interested, I do it. If not, then I'll just be diligent with good grade. I'll try. Okay. I mean, I think that it's definitely okay to ask questions. If you have any. You know? There's nothing bad about that. Okay, let's see what the forum says about matching input is action pressed. It does not look like it's possible. Oh well. Okay, then let's do it with ifs. I guess that's fine. Sure, let's do another syntax then. So, if this one happened, then do this. Then, if this one happened, do that. And we will continue same way. If input is action pressed. And it's move back. Then we want the direction. Wait, I will change this to be consistent. We will do that. We will not touch X, we will touch Z instead. As so. And last but not least, input is action pressed. Move forward. Then the direction Z should be -1. As follows. So basically this function will be called for every frame of the game. So on the one hand, we have another function we can also prepare, which is called process. So we can either implement the one above for literally every frame, or we can implement the physics process, which will be strictly for just physics related stuff. And that's all. Ugh. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Hello. Thank you for the follow. Coward Kotagi? Huh? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Yes. Tank says if you use a Switch case to decide if you are going to put your Nintendo Switch in a case, do you then have a Switch case or Switch case? That's a good one. So I think it would be Switch case to decide if you are going to put your Nintendo Switch case. It's going to be a Switch case inside the Switch case, maybe. Court Kotagi says you could create one two-dimensional variable for input mapping. But then I'm kind of losing the Godot interface. Am I not? Would that really be the better case, you think? If you want to avoid the if statements, also switch match statements are possible. Yeah, I was trying to add match just literally now, but then the question was like, how do I specify these? Because I need a certain variable, you know? So which variable am I using in this case, I wonder? If you know, that will be really helpful. Because at first, ugh. At first I was trying to do a match, but then what kind of variable am I using here? You know? Like, is it just input? Like, what kind of variable is that going to be? I don't know. Kotagi says something like var input vector 2 input get vector. Okay. But what if I want to do it as a match? I'd use an inner match for larger state machines. Yeah, I totally agree. But so far, I'm just learning GD script. I'm coming from Unity and C#, but I am definitely familiar with Python. So, yeah. This is where I'm at right now. Glimmer says, I'm ready to do my homework for next week. By the way, do I need to take notes of our meetings? Will there be... Wait, what? Glimmer! You can watch my streams whenever you want. I guess we will stay with those for now. Maybe later I will try to find a better way to do it. Or a cleaner way to do it. Like, for sure I would put these into enums. If I would... I mean, yes, but... yeah. But I would really prefer to use match. Like, I mean the switch case. I think switch case would be much nicer. I just need to know which variable to call for the switch case, you know? Okay, let's continue. Okay, so let's normalize the directions of our player. If the direction changes, which means if direction is not vector dot 0, then direction should be normalized. And we have the pivot node, and we can access it with the $sign. looking at direction. So this is our way to change the direction the model looks at. That's a very nice abstraction that Godot gives us, I feel like. Looking at this sounds like a very interesting function to use. I appreciate it. How can we check the documentation for what exactly it does? There we go. No, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted looking at. Looking at. Let's see what it means. Where is it? I don't see the explanation. But I guess it does what it says it does. There it is. Looking at. Creates a basis with a rotation such that the forward axis point towards the target position. This is the target. The up axis points as close to the up vector as possible while staying perpendicular to the forward axis. The resulting basis is orthonormalized. The target and up vectors cannot be zero and cannot be parallel to each other. Well, of course. If use model front is true, the z-axis is treated as forward and points towards the target position. By default, the z-axis is treated as forward. Interesting. I think these are many nice abstractions. Glimmer says, it's good that you found your favorite student. This is a slipper. Why are messages from Twitch no longer showing on the screen? What? Of course they are. Of course they are. Don't you see them? Let's see if something is wrong with the chat. Wait, I see that it does work. Oh, I see, but there's like some sort of a delay a little bit. Yeah, sorry about the delay. I don't know what's causing it right now. But it's a slight one, right? Okay. Let's go back to moving our player. So this is a very nice abstraction that we're getting from Godot for free. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nifty. So we compute the pivot is looking like the direction where the pivot is looking by creating the basis. And it looks at the direction of this one. Okay, now we need to update the velocity. Right. Let's update the velocity. Target velocity x direction x multiplied by speed, and we will do the same also for the z-axis as well. Okay, in the documentation it's marked as ground velocity. Sure. Which is this one. So far we're not applying it to any objects as I see it. And now for the vertical velocity. If not is on floor. We're getting so many abstractions for free. Like, if I used Unity, I had to make these checks of floor or ceiling by myself using raycasting and then checking where the raycast is hitting. So here it seems like all of the very basic game related rules are already implemented, so I don't need to implement them again. So that seems really nice. Because yeah, this is great. In Unity, I would have to implement the logic that I'm given here for free. I mean, of course, I'm sure, of course, we can implement this kind of logic on our own, but what is the point if we already have it? And it's nice that this type of logic that is very common in games and in game development, we're getting it just like that. That's nice, that's appreciated. Glimmer says, Madam Teacher, can you do a pixel art customer? Because I always like to look at these pixel art redrawings. Redrawings? They're not redrawings, they are just drawings. And yes, tomorrow we will have a pixel art stream for sure. Either something related to, like, we're definitely going to have pixel art on screen, but maybe we will either draw, but maybe we will do some video editing, because I need to prepare a trailer for my debut event in May. So we're either going to do that, create the trailer for my debut, or we're going to draw some pixels. These are our options for tomorrow. So basically, if the player is not on the floor, we want the player to fall down. So we want the target velocity of the y-axis to be going downwards. Full acceleration, and we will multiply it by delta. We have to multiply it by delta so it will be exactly the same for all computers, no matter how strong they are or how weak they are. So we always need to do this multiply by delta. And now we need to place all of our calculations on the character itself. So let's do that. Velocity is target velocity, and okay. Now we were going to call another function, as I see. What is movement slide? Let's check it out. Movement slide. Let's see what it means. Wait, where is the explanation? Oh, there it is. That's the movement slide explanation. Let's check it out. Ah. Okay. Let's see. Coward Kotagi says just a warning that is on X type functions can be very jank, especially when you're prototyping and have messy geometry. Oh, thank you for the warning. I didn't know. Okay. Coward Kotagi, would you prefer to implement these type of functions on your own? I wonder. In Unity, I would always do that, but it's like replicated logic from project to project. Tang says her schedule is posted in Discord. Yes. Yeah, if you guys wanna join the Discord, please feel free to do so. I'm adding the links. Basically, in the Discord, I also share when I'm going live, if that's something you're interested in. Also, yes, I have the schedule there. And also, it's just random time to chat. Glimmer says, I honestly love it when you read in Russian. Thank you for the stream. Have a nice day and good sense. Okay. I can try to read your Russian, but it's really complicated for me. You said, Glimmer says, спасибо за ваш стрим. Было приятно смотреть. Yay! Очень интересно было и прекрасно, пока вчителько космос. Okay. Thank you for staying, Glimmer. Coward Kotagi says it's a different tool for different jobs type thing. For a lot of things, the built-in functions are just fine. I see. So, it's just... I see, okay. So this is a good warning to know. I see now. Thank you. Coward Kotagi says, for something as important and constantly tested as movement, I'll typically use either a raycast or a larger detection area. Yeah, in Unity, I would always implement these checks on my own using raycasting. I just assume that if this is a logic that repeats itself so many times in literally almost any game, then maybe there are all sorts of tweaks that were made to this check. Okay, let's see. Is on floor. Returns true if the body collided with the floor. On the last call. Off move and slide. Otherwise returns false. Let's see. Move and slide. Move the body based on velocity. If the body collides with another, it will slide along the other body rather than stop immediately. That's so nice. We're getting so many functions for free. That's so nice. If the other body is a character body 3D or rigid body 3D, it will also be affected by the motion of the other body. You can use this to make moving and rotating platforms or to make nodes push other nodes. Move and slide modifies velocity if a slight collision occurred. To get the latest collision call from... Okay. Get last slight collision. Oh. We're getting so many functions for free. That's supposed to speed up the coding process a tons, I feel like. Isn't that right? We're getting so many functions that are just... they just make sense to be part of a library. So, I really like that so far. For more detailed information about collisions, accord, use get slide collision. Okay, so we have so many functions to be familiar with that we don't have to implement ourselves. Cool. When the body touches a moving platform, the platform's velocity is automatically added to the body motion. If a collision occurs due to the platform's motion, it will always be first in the slide collisions. Interesting. Interesting. That's very nice. That's very nice. Okay, now let's try to see what it's like to move the character. Now we can add the player. This one. We can add it to our scene. Oh, we need a camera before we can actually start the game and check the movement. Okay. Okay, I would expect adding a camera to be the very first thing to do. I would expect one to be given to me by default, but okay. Let's add a camera. Okay, a marker. What? Generic 3D position hint for editing. Okay. This would be the camera pivot. Right? And then we will attach another node to it, which is the actual camera. Ooh, let's preview. That's a bad perspective. Let's see how we can change it. Okay, I will try to give it a shot. And now I need to somehow change the perspective. Okay, in the tutorial it says we're going to use the pivot to rotate the camera as if it was on a crane, which is this one I see. Let's first split the 3D view to be able to freely navigate the scene and see what the camera sees. In the toolbar, right above the viewport, click on view. Okay. And we want 2 viewports, I see. So one for the preview and one for the perspective, the regular perspective. Okay. Maybe we will want the camera perspective here, actually. Can we change that? How do we go back to showing the camera view? Huh. On the bottom one, I will select the camera. Oh, now it shows. Okay. In the top view, move the camera about 19 units on the Z-axis. On the Z-axis? On the top view over here? Move the camera. Is it going to be the pivot or... 19 units. Okay. But shouldn't it be the pivot? Do I need to move the camera? I guess that would be the camera then. And we need to change its transform. On the Z-axis. 19. Like so? Select camera pivot. Okay, now we're taking this one and we're rotating it to minus 45 degrees on the x-axis. Minus 45. Ooh, looks nice. Okay, let's check out the movement now. But I'm guessing it's not following the player at the moment. Because they're not children of one another. Ooh. Okay, let me start the game. There we go. Now you can see the game window. Let's check the movement. Okay, ooh, that's nice. Cute. We did not implement jump yet. So we have this basic movement here. We can also make the character full, right? Yes. Bye-bye. Okay, let's try to start the game again. Ah, that's very cute. That's very nice. Okay. I like this so far. What do you guys think so far about Godot? I think I like it. Okay, let's continue. Whoops. Let's continue with the tutorial. So far we have movement implemented and it's pretty nice looking, I think. And now we can go to continue with the the jump implementation, I think. Okay, let's fix up the camera a little bit. We will take the camera. And now we're supposed to find a... In the inspector, we need to find projection. Where's the projection? Oh, there it is. Ugh! And now we need to set the size. As follows. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I changed the perspective of the camera. Let's see what it's like right now. Well, that's pretty cool. Also, because we have our light source, then we have a nice shadow too. So that's cool. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Whee! Very cute. Adorable. Okay, now we are going to create our monsters, and I guess we will implement the jumps later on. Okay. So we will create a new scene. This one is going to be for the monsters. For our enemies. So we will have it as a character 3D. And we will call it mob. We will add a 3D node, a basic one. And we will call it pivot. I guess this is the best practice here, to first have the node that encapsulates everything, and then to have a pivot as the very first child that will have everything else inside of it. Okay, so similar to what we did before, we will take this 3D model and place it over here as a child of pivot. And we will call it character. It says, hey Space, for movement you can use this instead of if statements. Oh, I see, yeah. Would you really prefer this? Can you please explain why would it be better though? I'm curious about your reason. I think it does the same thing, but also calculates input strength. Useful when using a joystick to control the character. Oh, thank you for explaining that. Okay, let me save this scene real quick. And then I will give it a try. I will give it try to what you are saying. Dum dum dum. Dum 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 dum. Okay, we'll call it mob TSN. Core Kotoki says, yeah, there's a million ways we could get our input here. That makes sense. Yeah, there's always like a bazillion ways to do something, which is good, I guess. That approach would be useful if you wanted to do air strafing like Half-Life or Quake. Just because your left-right is fully separate from your forward and back. Oh, I see. Yeah, for this case, they're not entirely separated. We also have a way to move in like diagonal directions too. Thank you, Ubuts, and thank you, Kotagi, for your knowledge and sharing what you guys know. So let's see about changing these. Yes, I will admit I don't like so many if statements altogether. I wish I could put them into a match, you know? Put them into a switch case. But you're saying... So, I will also put this part also in a comment. This is also not very relevant. And the new way that we're going to implement, introduced by Umut. Direction.x import get axis. Let's see what get axis does. Get axis, move left. I think I like that, you know? I think I like this way of doing things. Ooh! Oh wow! Hello, Exo! Thank you for joining, and thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Currently, I am doing some... I'm doing my first steps in Godot at the moment. So, if you like this type of game dev stuff, please feel free to say. Also, I'm just gonna share. Currently, I am doing the tutorial for 3D games. I am coming from Unity background. I know C# and Python, but Python is pretty much my favorite language. So GDScript is like a cool, nice start, you know? Yeah, so I'm currently trying this out, and so far, it's really nice to see so many functions available for free, like this one and this one. And you don't have to implement it because you get it from the library. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna share my Discord again. In case anyone wants to join. I have my schedule there, and also I post my live notifications there as well. Okay, let's go back to trying to implement the new way that was suggested by Uma. Let's give it a try. So for the direction of Z, Move left and we can get move left or move right. Let's see what get axis does. Get axis input by specifying two actions. One, -1, and +1. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And for direction Z, we'll do get axis. Move forward and backward. Move back. Okay. Let's see how this one works instead of this. Although, we will have to... Okay, no. We need this code. We need this. I am going to uncomment it because we need it. Okay. Oh, wait. I have this one commented out and this one. Okay, let's see how it works. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start. Ooh, that's nice. Thank you, Emma. It looks much easier. So it's good to know both of the options available. It's good to know both are available. I'm gonna keep that one commented, just so we will know that we have more than one way to do a certain thing. Okay, I like this because then I don't have to have this ridiculous if statement. So this is nice. Also, it's good to see that there is like a switch case in GDScript. Unlike Python. Python doesn't really like switch cases. Maybe it will change in future versions of Python. I don't know. Okay, back to creating our monster. Our cute little monster. Whoops. Yeah, it works really nicely. That's very nice. It's very cool. Okay. Now we will need to make some adjustments to our monster, to our little monster. Okay, we need to add some collision to it, first and foremost. Collision shape. We will get this one. And I suppose we will add a box shape to it. We need to stretch those. Okay, these are very nice. ways to handle the 3D-ness. Doop-doop-doop-doo. Yes, that will do. That will do. Well, we need to create a new child, which is called Visible on Screen Notifier 3D. Let's see what the documentation says about this. Okay, I'm reading from the documentation. We're going to spawn monsters at regular time intervals in the game level. If we're not careful, their count could increase to infinity. Dun dun dun! And we don't want that. Each mob instance has both memory and the processing cost, and we don't want to pay for it when the mob is outside of the screen. Oh yeah, for sure. Once a monster leaves the screen, we don't need it anymore, so we should delete it. Godot has a node that detects when objects leave the screen. What? You implement this notification type as a node. Yeah, because everything is nodes in Godot, right? I will need to get used to the fact that even things like notifications and alerts are nodes as well. That's so weird coming from Unity. But I suppose we will get used to it at some point, in one way or another. Right. Well, as I see it, our time is up for today. I really appreciate you guys joining me for today's stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the help and for sharing your experience with me. It was very helpful. Right. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to do some pixel art at the exact same time. I'm starting like 2 hours ago. And next week on the Saturday, I will continue learning Godot and seeing how different it is from Unity. Kotagi, yes, I'm sure I will get used to it very fast. As far as I see so far, it looks very friendly and nice. EXO, thank you so much for saying that. And I hope I will see you guys either tomorrow or next week. Have a lovely rest of your day.